Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. I cover football the way Marcus Peters covers elite receivers, Perna. Yeah, I'm saying Peters tricked me into thinking he was a good corner. And I'm saying I'm not very good at what I do, otherwise I would be out of my basement by now. What I love about Marcus Peters, though, is he feuds with everyone. The fans.
Where you from, homie? You gonna get fined. Where you from, homie? You gonna get fined. Where you from? Don't touch me. Yeah, square ass nigga, talk that shit now, nigga. What the fuck you mean, nigga?
Amari Cooper.
Where you from, homie? You gonna get fined. Where you from, homie? You gonna get fined. Where you from?
And now Sean Payton, but more to come on that. The Rams and the Saints to me are like Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. They're very similar, both very entertaining, both the best at what they do offensively, and I have a really hard time deciding which one I like more. I go back and forth. Golden Boy Brees or all my former Broncos in LA. New Orleans, a great football city, or LA, a city great for everything but football. Sean, any coach named Sean, although Sean Payton's dance is far more viral than Sean McVay being able to name every NFL player that has ever lived.
Sean Payton, Sean Payton, do your thing, it's Sean Payton.
Aqib Talib saying whatever the fuck he wants.
Take somebody's soul. He ain't taking no fucking soul out.
Or Sean Payton mastering the weird post-game handshake. So much to consider for this NFC Championship game. That's good. It's sports. Hey, I know the football season's almost done, but I do a podcast with Will Keys every week. Every Thursday, That's Good Sports podcast is uploaded on iTunes, Podbean, my second YouTube channel, That's Good Podcasts. So if you want more football talking, check it out. I do have big dick Patreon shoutouts for Brian Rizzi, Leo Herrera, and Aaron Vasquez. Thank you guys very much for your donations. I am uploading a lost That's Good Sports episode for all my $5 patrons today. That is happening today. Secret episodes. It's the Rams at the Saints for the NFC Championship game. The Saints are 3-point favorites at home. Over-under set at 57 right now. I do need to ask a very important question. Why does every NFL fan base have at least one guy who dresses as a Darth Vader version of their team? I get it for the Raiders, but none of those other ones make any goddamn sense. A lot like the Cowboys' defensive game plan last week, which was let the Rams do whatever the hell they want. I do have an observation I want to pass along to my friend Aqib Talib, who so eloquently pointed out that DeMarcus Lawrence was not able to take Jared Goff's soul. But be careful, Aqib. You guys are in New Orleans this weekend. New Orleans, home of voodoo, home of Southern voodoo magic, and if Jared Goff will lose his soul anywhere, it is in Louisiana. Be careful. Now, I think everyone is looking forward to this game, not just because of how exciting it was the last time these two teams played, but most importantly, everyone wants to see how Michael Thomas is going to up his game after the Joe Horn cell phone celebration. Personally, I'd like to see him pull out a fathead of the Dallas Cowboys star, then putt the football across it with a pylon while somehow dunking on the goalpost and throwing popcorn in his face. But that's just me. I'm a real sucker for the classics. The last time these two teams played, the Saints actually led 35-14 in the second quarter before the Rams came back to tie the game in the fourth. It was an interesting strategy in that game, but I'm guessing it's not in Wade Phillips' game plan this time to give up 5 touchdowns in the first half. There are some big differences this time around, though. The last time these two teams played, for the Rams, they got 89 yards and a touchdown from Cooper Kupp, who is done for the season with an injury. But they will have 2 guys they didn't have back in November, Aqib Talib, who was injured, and C.J. Anderson, who they signed in Week 16 and has run for over 100 yards in each of his last 3 games with the Rams. Now, Talib is a huge upgrade over Week 9 because they gave up 211 yards to Michael Thomas in that game when he was covered mostly by Marcus Peters. Speaking of Peters again, another one of the narratives in this game is his feud with Sean Payton, going back to the last time they played. This was Payton referring to their game plan with Thomas on Peters. That was the plan, Payton said, via the Los Angeles Times. they were going to travel Marcus to him, and that was fine by us. We thought we really liked that matchup. A lot. Now, some narc told Peters what the Saints coach had said about him, and Peters responded, "Tell Sean Payton to keep talking that shit. We're going to see him soon," Peters said. "You feel me? I liked what he was saying on the sidelines too, so I'll tell him, keep talking that shit, and I hope you see me soon. You feel me? And then we're going to have a nice little bow of gumbo together." And that seems like a really aggressive way to ask Sean Payton out on a dinner date. Look, I'm not an expert though at reading between the lines. I'm pretty sure a nice little bowl of gumbo means something other than having an actual bowl of gumbo together. I also think it was a little mean of Payton to throw in that "a lot" at the end of his statement. Seems unnecessary. Marcus Peters tweeted that it's gumbo week. Let's eat. So again, maybe he really is just a big gumbo fan and is excited about getting to sample the local flavors yet again. There's definitely not a lot of gumbo in Oakland, where he grew up, Washington, or Kansas City, but at the same time, it might just mean he wants to beat the shit out of Sean Payton. And I'm guessing there's a line for that on my bookie. Now, the X factor in this game may be Taysom Hill. I'm expecting Sean Payton to keep Taysom Hill in front of him at all times as his personal protector, not for punts for Marcus Peters, which might actually help the Saints because they wouldn't be taking the ball out of their Hall of Fame quarterback's hands. Now, I think it's pretty clear, but I expect the Rams to have Aqib Talib on Michael Thomas all game. But the real liability for the Rams is their run defense playing against the most dynamic running back duo, not named Gurley and Anderson. Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh make running inside difficult sometimes, but Alvin Kamara has the speed for the Saints to have a very effective outside rush attack. And when defenses start to over-pursue because of that, Mark Ingram will gash them from the inside. Trying to decide which team's set of backs will have a bigger day is like trying to decide which kind of dressing is better, blue cheese or ranch. People are going to have strong opinions, especially if chicken wings get involved. But the correct answer is they are both fucking delicious and should be used the way Patrick Mahomes uses ketchup. For the Rams offense, I think Robert Woods might be the guy that delivers them a victory. He's probably one of the least talked about, really good receivers in the NFL. He had 1,219 receiving yards this season. That's more than Stephon Diggs, Odell Beckham, and Jarvis Landry combined. Just kidding, that would be ridiculous. He and Brandin Cooks each have 1,200 yards this year, but I just like the way Robert Woods plays the game. He's gritty, and he finds the soft spots on the defense. When Woods goes soft, it's hard to beat Goff. Now, both teams have great offensive lines, so I don't think there's an advantage in the trenches here. The Saints have a more complete defense on all levels, and the Rams have more receiving weapons. The Saints have Taysom Hill. So again, I go back and forth and back and forth. However, I simply trust Drew Brees a lot more than Jared Goff, especially at home in the Superdome. Both teams just faced hot defenses in the Cowboys and the Eagles, and I think the Rams handled that challenge better, actually. The Saints needed a miracle to hold on to their victory last week, and they got that when Alshon Jeffrey let the ball slip through his hands and be intercepted. But they also fought back from a 14-point deficit. So they're coming off a game where they were fighting through adversity to win, an important thing to be able to do in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, Jared Goff is playing amazing football, but Drew Brees is just on another level. Just 5 picks this entire season and 13 balls thrown away. Goff threw 40 balls away, which, if you've seen all the fucking trash in the ocean, really I feel is wasteful. They both threw 32 touchdowns. The difference, Goff had 70 more passing attempts than Brees. And for what it's worth, Jared Goff throws a few highly inaccurate balls almost every game, which is why beating Goff appears easy, but proves difficult when the crowd is watching. Drew Brees has the best completion percentage, best adjusted completion percentage, best deep ball accuracy. The only thing that can stop him from beating Goff is the sight of another man, Aaron Donald. If Aaron Donald has the game of his life, nobody will be beating Goff this Sunday. If he doesn't, well, we might see a Saint beating Goff for the second time in 1 year. And I am not religious, but I think that qualifies as a miracle. Drew Brees turned 40 this week. Tom Brady was 40 last year, and that alone got him a free ticket to the Super Bowl. No matter who wins this game, the Saints or the Rams with Wade, Talib, and my man Anderson, I'll be rooting extremely hard for you to win the Super Bowl. So for the first time this season, I really wish good luck to both teams. Isn't that sweet of me? Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, at Brandon Perna if you feel inclined to follow my social medias there. At WillKey6 on Twitter. He helps me write these bad boys.